Welcome everyone to this edition of the Yoga Amazing Video Podcast. I am Chaz and I am your host, and welcome back. Now this episode is brought to us by Audible.com. They're the leading internet provider of downloadable books on the web. In fact, here on my iPhone, I have a great audio book if you want to check it out. The Last Lecture. This was a huge phenomenon on YouTube. I actually have the book at home. It's very inspirational, but now I have it with me on my iPhone. So you can get this book or any book of your choice just by going to audiblepodcast.com/yogamazing because, hey, you're a part of the Yoga Amazing family. And I like getting you good deals, so there you go. Now let's get into this week's email. And this one comes all the way from Berlin. And this one comes in from Magdalena. And she says, Chaz, I just started doing your yoga classes. They're great. Thank you. I'm new to yoga. I would appreciate if you could do some beginner classes. Well, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing because it's the first of the year. A lot of people are getting back into their health, their regimen, and a lot of new people are coming on board. So I'm going to be doing a beginner's yoga class. And if you're an advanced or middle of the road yoga practitioner, it's okay. It's going to be yoga. I'm going to make this challenging for you, but I'm also going to give people in the beginning some fresh yoga, some fresh things to start with. But for you, the advanced people who've been watching me for a while, I'm going to be doing some different poses to challenge you as well, so you're excited. So thank you, Magdalena, and if you would like to participate, anyone else in this podcast, please send me an email, chaz@yogamazing.com, and if I can create a class for you and for all of us to become healthier and happier individuals, yes, I would do it. So a couple of things here real quick. Please Twitter me. I'm Twittering out for Q&A, where I'm launching the middle of the week podcast, which is kind of like little short snippets of yoga about little things that you may have questions about, like poses or how do you do this or how do you do that. Not full classes, little bits. So sign up for Twitter and Twitter me some of your ideas. And then also on the homepage of yogamazing.com in the top right corner, I have the ability for you to sign up for the Yoga Amazing newsletter, which will keep you in the loop on new product launches, as well as where I'm going to be teaching, not only in Louisville, but around the country and where I'm going to be. So please go there and sign up. And then also, the Yoga Amazing, the 4 Elements of Yoga is doing wonderful. The first batch has sold out, but more are on the way. So if you're interested in it, please go to yogamazing.com as well. Now remember, as we go through today's class, please remember to breathe, relax, and have fun in this edition of the Yoga Amazing video podcast. When I like to start my yoga classes, whether it's an advanced class or a beginner's class, I always start in child's pose. And people ask me that, why do you do that? Well, the reason I personally like to start this way with my classes and for my own personal practice is because it's a form of surrender, that this is an offering to yourself, that you're releasing and letting go of whatever you've brought to you from the day. You're not worrying about what's happening later. Yoga is about being completely present in the moment. So that's why I like starting here and doing down dog, because it's kind of like the startup. It just slowly gets the body moving and you awaken yourself. So from here, we want to open up the knees and drop ourselves into child's pose. Now, I'm not going to stretch it all the way out. Drop your forehead to the floor. Now, I'm going to come up a little bit just so you can hear me and so I don't sound muffled, but I want you to stay completely stretched out and just relax here. Now, I always start this way, and we do what's called Ujjayi breath. That's where you inhale through the nose, hollow the throat, deepen the breath. And what happens is as you inhale through the nose, hollow the throat, expand the chest and lungs, and then completely releasing the breath, you're warming the breath flow. Thus, you're warming the blood that goes into the body. So inhaling, the throat becomes like your little heater box, warms the blood, warms the body. So keep this going. It's like I always tell people, like a cascading waterfall. It's never ending. It's constantly flowing, whether the poses are simple or hard. The breath is constant. It is the constant thing in your class. So just breathe here and just relax for a few moments. And slowly bring yourself up, sitting on your heels into Virasana, the hero pose, before we move into a few other poses since we're already here. We want to cross our arms. We're going to do the eagle arms, and then we're just going to lift up. Just a nice little move here. A simple pose too. This is great for you to do at your desk as well. Opens up your shoulders, and this is one of probably the only pose that's going to get this great stretch between the shoulder blades. And I always tell people, if it hurts for you to sit like this, just sit on your bottom, crisscross your legs. And then from here, let's slowly release. Take your arms out, rotate, cross, left over right, bend, twist, and then lift. And then slowly release the arms, taking the arms out, going around the back and just grabbing your elbows. So sometimes just doing basic yoga, basic stretches is just as important as when I do a full-blown flow. Very intense, my own personal practice, because sometimes I'm, after certain days, I'm exhausted. And if you don't listen to yourself when you're exhausted and when you overexert yourself, that's when you injure yourself. So just doing some yoga like this is just as beneficial as doing the full-blown flow if you're more advanced. If you're a beginner, this is just as challenging to you as an advanced flow would be for someone else. So just find out where you can go. And then let's slowly release. And we're going to take our hands to the floor. We're going to form a tabletop. So shoulders over the rings of the wrist, knees are hips width apart. So we don't want the legs to be back like this, okay? And we don't want to be pushing back. We want to make sure that we form a table, knees and hips in alignment, shoulders over the rings of the wrist. And from here, we're going to inhale, look up, shoulder blades down, spread the sits bones. And as you exhale, round, tuck, and squeeze. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, round, tuck, and squeeze. Great pose from when you get out of bed in the morning, right here. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, round, tuck, and squeeze. Good. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, round, tuck, and squeeze. And inhale, looking up. Exhale, round, tuck, and squeeze. One more. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, round, tuck, and squeeze. Now from here, I want you to bring up the left arm and the right leg. Rotate the right hip. Point your toes down, lengthen through that leg, deepen the breath. Feel as though someone's pulling your hand and pulling your foot, so you're lengthening in both directions. You can gaze at your fingers. I personally like to look down because I like to get the lengthening in my neck. Deepen the breath. Now from here, left hand to the floor, right foot to the floor for a side plank. Knee under hip, left hand under left shoulder. You want to bring this arm up. Deepen the breath. And then slowly release. Bring it back to the center. And we're going to bring up the right arm and the left leg. Same thing, lengthen through the right, lengthen through the left. Point your toes down and lengthen through that leg. So don't just let the leg lay there like I'm being lazy with it right now. Just let it hang. Lengthen through that leg. And as you notice, I'm going to push through my heels. I'm going to spread my toes. Deepen the breath. And then slowly release. Take your right hand to the floor, right hand under right shoulder, right knee under right hip. And a lot of times people do this and they fall back. So you've got to put that knee under the hip, then you've got to tuck your bottom way under, and then you got to bring this arm up. Now if it's too challenging for you, you can always, offset yourself, however you can get into it. That's easier for you, is cool with me. And then gaze up, tuck the tailbone. But if you can do it this way, it'd be better. Soften the gaze and the breath. And then releasing, coming back to the center. Now from here, one of my all-time favorite poses, I know, not the down dog yet, not that one yet, but thread the needle. Oh, it's a wonderful thing for your back because it just readjusts your spine totally. It's wonderful. So from here, big inhale. And as you exhale, I'm taking my left arm through, bringing my right arm into the air, and using that arm on the floor as leverage to twist deeper. Now remember to put the weight into the shoulder, not into the neck. And release, coming back to the center, inhale. And as you exhale, let's rotate to the other side. Right arm under, left arm up. Deepen the breath. And release back to the center. Now from here, we're going to work on, yes, the downward facing dog. My most favorite pose of all, as you know by now. So let's dig our toes into the mat, and we're going to bring it up and back. Now, as you notice, a lot of people, when they get into down dog in the very beginning, if I tell them to do this, they do this. They do a soft in, and I'm like, oh, you're doing more work than you need to. Remember to push back, bottom to the ceiling. Have the heels behind the feet. If your heels don't touch the floor, maybe I should make a shirt that says, if your heels don't touch the floor, your heels don't touch the floor. Yoga amazing. See, you inspire me even when I'm teaching. Now, you want to make sure that you bend your knees slightly, and if your heels go down, that's cool. If not, just wait. But I don't want you to soften it up. I want a sliding board spine. Deepen the breath. Spread the sits bones, root into the heels. And rooting, if your wrist hurt, a lot of people ask me about that. You can wear the bionic gloves, which I've worn before, which help your wrist. Or if you don't need that, then you can push into the index fingers and thumbs, deepening the breath, and just stretch it out here. And then drop to your knees, and let's go to child's pose. Bring it up, toes into the mat, and taking it back. Same thing, bend your knees and push back. Sliding board spine, again, work on getting the heels down. If they don't, they don't. Your body will warm up, and in time, you will get there. It's not about, getting there. It's about the journey within. It's finding your path there. So you should be looking between the feet, deepening the breath. And then from here, look between your hands, walk your feet forward. And I want you just to hang in standing forward fold. Bend your knees slightly and just relax your head, relax your neck, and just hang here. A great pose if you're out on vacation or you're at work. Just back your bottom into the wall and fall forward, because this is a great pose to do after lunch. Instead of getting a hit of caffeine, you can do this pose, and it brings fresh blood into the head to wake you up and calm you down. And it's caffeine free. And then slowly bring it up, standing, arms out into the air, and bring the hands to the chest. Very good. Now from here, let's stand in the middle of our mat. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the right, to the middle, to the left, to the middle, to the right, to the middle, to the left. So we're just going to move from side to side doing our standing asanas. So from here, we're going to be doing our warrior series as well as a forward fold, standing forward fold, and a wide spread. We just did the forward fold. Now we're going to be standing wide spread and come back to a forward fold. So we're just going to do some yoga poses, some basic stuff. And the great thing about the warrior series is people, women especially, go, how can I get rid of this jingly, jangly stuff right here in their muscles? Well, the warrior series is an excellent series to do for that reason. So from here, now remember you're opposite of me, so Go whichever way you want to go. From right now, I'm going to be doing a warrior two. So that means my chest and hips are forward. I'm going to bring my arms up, inhaling. And as I exhale, I'm going to bend my right knee. Now, I don't want to lean forward. That's wrong. You want to make sure that you're in the present moment. If you're leaning forward, that's the future. If you're leaning back, that's the past. But if you're here at the center line of your body, that's where you want to be. That's being present in the asana. So from here, let's not do a Superman. Let's arms parallel to the floor. Remember, knee over ankle. You want to draw the navel in. You don't want to stick your bottom out and your chest out. You got to tuck it in, draw the navel right into the core. Take your navel towards the spine. Gaze forward, deep in the breath. Now from here, take your right arm to the right leg, or your left, depending on where you are, and then lengthen with that arm above you. Gazing up under the arm towards the ceiling, deepening the breath. Bring it up. Hands to the hips, rotate to the middle. From here, standing wide spread. Inhale, listen to the heart. Exhale, hinge and go down. Squeeze into the root, take it down. Remember, you don't want to be doing this. You don't want to bend your knees. You want to hinge. So squeeze the front of the legs, draw up. Spread the sits bones. Draw the navel in. Squeeze into the root, the Mula Bandha, or think of Kegel method, or if you got to go to the bathroom. Lengthen, and with each inhale and exhale, hinge. Where my hands are, that's where I'm hinging from. And imagine you have a plate on your tailbone there, and you're trying to slide it down your spine. And for it to get to the floor, your spine's got to be straight. So we don't want to round it up. We want to lengthen through the spine and deepen the breath. Just go where you can go. You may not be as deep as this. You may be up here. So just work on legs, firm, up, spread, hinge from the hips, deepening the breath. Bring it up. Rotate to the other side. I'm taking my left foot out, arms up, big inhale. And as I exhale, again, remember, I don't lean forward. Future, past, present. That's where you want to be. Draw the navel in, squeeze and lengthen through the fingers. Remember, don't do this. Tuck in. Feel as though someone's grabbing your arms. You're lengthening through the arms, rooting through the hips, crown of the head reaching to the sky. Now, left hand to left leg, extend with the right arm over, looking up under the arm towards the ceiling, deepening the breath. And bring it up, back to the center. Again, hands to the hips. Big inhale, lift into the heart. Exhale, hinge, take it over. Squeeze into the root, deepen the breath. Breathe and sink. Go where you can go. And up. Taking your right foot out, triangle. Now, in triangle, a lot of the times people have a tendency to crunch, to compress. We want to get extension. And there's many different variations, and people talk to me about this. So there's this school of method, this school of method, this school of method. Well, everybody has their own way. So just find your way, and here's the way I found myself into the pose. I'm going to hinge from here and take my hip back. And a lot of people like to get that extension, which I do. My hips go back, I get that length. So let's work on this. So I'm going to big inhale. I'm going to lengthen. Inhale, go out, lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Don't go down, don't go down. Reach, then grab your leg. Then bring the hand up. But don't let your bottom and your chest be sticking out. If you need to, bring it up higher. It's about correct alignment. Remember, the hand that's in the air, light. This hand, don't lay into it like your life depends on it. This hand should be light as well. Deepen the breath. And up. Hands to the hips, lift into the heart. Inhale. Exhale. And up. Inhale. let's rotate to the other side. Exhale. Same thing. Inhale, lengthen, get to reach. Hips go back. If you notice, back, reach, lengthen. Triangle, hand to the leg, only down as far. Don't go as deep as I can. If you can, that's cool. If you can't, a lot of times when people go deeper, they start doing this stuff. Wrong, 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 wrong. Go where you can go with it. If your hand needs to be here, or you need to use a block, go where you need to go. Right hand light, the arm on the leg should be light as well. Up. Rotate to the center, hands to the hips, and wiggle your feet in to standing, and hands to the chest and Tadasana, the mountain pose. Close your eyes, take a few breaths here. Remember, lift the toes, spread the toes, root the toes, firm up the calves and thighs. Draw the navel in, tilt the tailbone under, shoulder blades down, crown of the head reaching to the ceiling. Now from here, tree pose, Vrikshasana. A very simple pose, but a very hard pose at the same time. I want you to find out where you can go. So it's either here, here, or full blown. But I don't want you doing this the whole time. I don't want that quick kickstand or nothing. If you need to use a wall, use the wall. This is a pose about focus and concentration, that you must concentrate and focus. And if that means you need to go to here, check your ego, sign off on it, check your ego at the door, drop the card in the box, say I've let go. Okay? That's what we need to do here. So let's bring our foot into our inner thigh, rolling that hip open, firming up that leg on the floor, soften the gaze, deepen the breath. Slowly release. Rotate to the other side. Left foot in the right inner thigh, or you may be opposite of me, so whichever way you want to go. Hands to the chest. Remember to firm up that leg on the floor, firmly grounding in, tucking the tailbone, rolling that hip, deep in the breath. And slowly release. Bring it back to Tadasana, the mountain pose, for a few breaths. And then from here, let's come to the front of your mat for the fierce pose, Utkatasana, or a lot of people call it chair, thunderbolts, fierce, so you take your choice. So we're going to bend our knees, stick out our bottom, and then bring our arms up into the air. Squeeze it, so you're trying to sit, you're trying to stand, you get stuck in the middle, so squeeze and lengthen in the middle. There's variations, you can do it this way. Some people like put their palms together and look up. There are certain days where I like doing this because I like getting that extension in my neck, so you can do this way or this way. You make the call, but for me, for right now, I'm doing this version. It just feels right. So squeeze and lengthen, deepen the breath. Knees, ankles, and big toes touching. Up, over, hands to the chest. Doing two of these. Again, bend the knees, stick out your bottom, and reach. Up, over, and then squeeze it in. Look up, lengthen. Walking it back to a down dog. And drop to your knees, go to a child's pose. From here, bring yourself up, sitting on your bottom, crisscrossing your legs, and bringing it into a butterfly. So what you want to do is take your hands around your feet, thumbs to middle of the feet, squeeze your bottom into the floor, And then you want to lengthen the knees and drop the knees as you peel them apart. So as you inhale and exhale, lengthen the knees, drop the knees, deepen the breath. Soften the gaze. And then slowly release, crisscrossing your legs. Taking one hand behind you, big inhale, lengthen. And as you exhale, twist looking over the shoulder. Now we're not leaning back, so lengthen and twist. And I always tell people that a simple pose like this is great. And release, bring it back to the center. And the reason it's great is because it's like getting an oil change for your spine. So each time you inhale and exhale, twist looking over the shoulder, everyone. Each time you do this, you're squeezing out the old blood. And then as you release now, everyone, you're bringing in that fresh oxygenated blood. So it's getting it's like an oil change for your spine. So from here, I've got my right knee. I'm just going to get a nice little squeeze in with the leg. And again, looking over the shoulder, deepening the breath. Squeeze that leg in nice and firm. Nice little massage to the internal organs. Same thing here, it's squeezing out the old blood, like right now, and fresh blood coming in. Let's rotate to the other side. Again, take the arm around, squeeze it, inhaling, exhaling deep. And slowly release. Bring it down to lying on your back for a bridge. We'll do a couple of variations on this. So from here, we're going to lift our hips into the air, interlock our fingers, tuck our shoulders, squeeze and lengthen the knees forward, deepen the breath. Make sure your legs don't splay or spread. Squeeze and lengthen the tailbone towards the knees, deepening the breath. And then release, bring it down vertebrae by vertebrae, keeping your feet where they are. This time we're doing a half bridge. Inhale. And as you exhale, lift using your lower back and make sure that your hands are by your side and just come up halfway like a sliding board this time. And then slowly release, bring it down vertebrae by vertebrae. And from here, walk your feet together, recline butterfly. And legs together, squeeze your legs in, give yourself a great big hug, rock and roll side to side. Now from here, we got one more move to do. So you're going to just roll it to your side. I'm just going to roll to here. And I'm going to do a cobra. So I know I'm kind of in a different position on the camera, but I wanted to make sure I got this one in the beginners. Because this is a great pose for the lower back, and it's probably good that it's from this angle because you never get to see it from this angle. So from here, we're going to put your chin to the floor, thumbs to your chest, hands by your chest, elbows tucked in. Now from here, when I inhale, and as I exhale, I lift using my lower back muscles. So if you notice in this angle, if I lift my hands, my lower back is holding me. So with each inhale, keep the elbows tucked in, not out. I'm lengthening, deepening the breath. And then slowly release, turn your head, palms up. We're doing two variations. We're doing the cobra and a locust, Shalabhasana. From here, arms to your side, palms down, chin to the floor or forehead. Inhale. And as you exhale, lift arms, lift your legs, lift your chest, squeeze and lengthen. Deepening. Remember, with each inhale and exhale, lift. Think of a jet airplane. Deepening the breath. Lift and lengthen. And release. Turn your head the other way, palms up. Now from here, I'm just going to roll it back over. I'm going to lie on my back and I'm going to rest. So from here, just arms to your side, palms up, and just relax. Hang out. And with each breath, just surrender and let go. Like at the very beginning of the class, you surrendered in child's pose. Now you just surrender to the breath again. This is where the beauty and the creation of yoga truly comes to life within you. I always tell people yoga class is like an art class. It's now time to go to the art exhibit, which is you internally. So just allow these next few minutes for you to just enjoy the beauty and your offering to yourself and to other people, because as you go throughout the day, this experience of yoga transforms you mentally, physically, and spiritually. So just accept, and you showing your yoga to someone else later today could be an act of generosity, an act of love, or maybe you help someone through yoga somehow. So these next few minutes, just allow yourself to accept this gift you've given yourself to pass on. Take the peace and the strength and share it. Namaste.